going on? Right now, I'm just talking what's on my mind at the moment. Yesterday was a good day. I had a lot of thoughts, a lot of positive thoughts about just my next goals and everything. Just taking in the present moment, everything that I've been experiencing, uh, realizing, learning, observing, and today is the second day that I feel like that energy, that positive energy, has carried over. I've been feeling prior to yesterday, like over the weekend, last weekend, 4th of July. You know, I had some rather negative thoughts, kind of revolving around that I couldn't stop thinking about. That I felt was keeping me in a stage of stagnation. Um, I've kind of been the reason or the cause of the stagnation is just really my mindset. My mindset has been rather, I don't want to say pessimistic, but I mean, it's closer to that than optimistic. I have been less optimistic. My mindset has been a less optimistic mindset than it has been in the past. It's been a very challenging year for me. The last 12 months of my life have been good. I would say easy going, good, and also fairly challenging due to work, trying to balance my creative projects, trying to balance a healthy relationship among that, and financial stability. Today and yesterday, I've kind of gotten a sense of renewal. Um, and usually, when I get a sense of renewal, I feel like this force of resistance kind of works really hard to refocus that energy back into negative thought patterns. So I've been actively doing what I feel like I should have been doing, and I don't even like to talk like that. And that's another thing too with me shifting my mindset and being consistent with the shift. Talking about the past, I'd like to reframe and reword a lot of the things that I have been, just the way I've been talking, just my internal dialogue, um, and how that rolls out into my external dialogue, how I talk about things, how I talk about myself, how I talk amongst my friends and my loved ones and things like that. But this is nothing new. What I've been learning is nothing new, nothing that I haven't learned before. It's more so just getting. I've been really challenged with getting to a space of consistent optimism. I have my moments where I feel fairly optimistic, and then I have moments where I feel heavily pessimistic. And as of recently, it's been more pessimism. Um, but, you know, I feel like I've found something new that I want to really strive towards. I want to I want to go back to school. Um, I really look forward to that. I'm actually really excited to go back to school. I'm an artist, and so that's really what my focus has been revolving around. Even though recently has been kind of distracted with other things outside of that, but I've been able to be real, take a realistic observation of my progress as an artist, and I've been making tremendous progress. However, I do think that I can open up my frame of mind to different ways of seeing the success I want to as an artist. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that I think being an artist and creating is a lifelong journey, like until the end. You know what I mean? As long as I'm able to create and my brain's functioning fine, my body is able to do what it needs to do. It's kind of going to be a forever thing for me. So, and I feel confident in that. There was a point where I didn't feel like that. I didn't even feel like an artist, and I felt like a con. I felt like I was being fake in a way. But I put in a lot of work. I put in a lot of work over the last couple of years to be able to look at myself and see, okay, I've made set goals. I've met a lot of my goals. I've made a lot of progress. I don't feel like a con anymore. I feel like the real thing. I am the real thing. And I'm glad I was able to get there. That was a tough, a challenge at one point in my life, and I'm here. I've surpassed that challenge. And so, just seeing that, I'm like, okay, I've got that under my belt. But then there's other things outside of my life, or revolving around my life, that I need to improve on, and that is my stability. I know a lot of people really resonate with the fact that financial stability as you get older is very, very important for just your well-being, just your mental health. It's securing your mind in a way that allows you to, I think, create more freely. I've created in moments of my life where I have been financially unstable, literally had nothing, but I was able to keep going because I didn't have the type of internal dialogue that I feel like has upgraded, has become more challenging as I'm getting older. And it's like, hey, um, we are only aging, even though I don't believe that age is an inhibiting factor in a lot of uh, things that you might want to set out to achieve. However, it's a realistic aspect of life, and the older you get, the more challenging things get as time goes. The easier some things get as well, but there are aspects of life that do get more challenging as you get older. Um, and one thing for me, one thing for me that has been really on my mind is that I don't want to get older and live a life struggling. You know what I'm saying? To I don't make art to make money. I want to have a career as an artist. However, I don't the way that I create, the things that I like to talk about in my art, I don't think are I just think that my career as an artist is more of a long term, gradual progress. Um, excuse me, that I'm not rushing to see financial gains from. Right now, I'm in the stage as an artist where I want to focus in on, you know, my voice, my life, what I find important, and I get closer to that every day. I get closer to that every day, and I know that over time, over time, it evolves. It's not something that is I'm gonna just pick and stay. I'm just gonna stay there. That's what I'm not really looking for that. I understand that your artistic voice evolves over time, but that's something that I'm just heavily prioritizing, and the quality of my work, and I really care about what I'm making. I care about what I'm putting out, and so I don't really like putting a. I don't like putting financial metrics on that process. I feel like it's very inhibiting. And if you're gonna make a career as an artist, then obviously making a career, making a living means to be making money from it. And that's just something I'm not willing to sacrifice. So I'll take that. I'll take that. I accept that. I know that about myself. I'm okay with that. You know. So I've been thinking, okay, I don't have to be one dimensional. Just as a person, I don't have to be one dimensional. Um, I think that sometimes we put ourselves in these boxes. I think I think that it's good to put yourself in a box or to set limitations and boundaries in order to really uh, juice as much as you can out of whatever you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So, for instance, if I say I'm only working in this medium, yeah, it is limiting to other things, but limitations are, I think, are what create or what makes the creative process more rich. Having too many options available really kind of ironically, it for me it puts too much in the mix. And as a person who, I have a little bit of a challenge making decisions and going through with them, limitations are important. However, on the contrary, when it comes to how I see myself in life, in the world, in the arena of of life, I don't think that I think I could be more than one thing. I can identify as more than just one type of person or one, archetype of a person. And so I've been thinking about careers that I wanted to get into um, outside of my art, that it's its own thing. I'm really interested in engineering. I I really am interested in engineering as a career. I've been doing research over the last couple months in terms of what type of engineer I would like to become. Watching a lot of different YouTubers who might specify in electrical engineering, systems engineering, um, bio, biomedical, mechanical, all different aspects of engineering. And I've also been doing a lot of research on the college university process, like the education process part, because that's I'm gonna have to go through school obviously in order to become an engineer. And I'm like, okay, it's obviously very challenging. Everybody says, like engineering school is hard. You know, I don't expect it to be easy. I know it's gonna be hard. I know it's gonna be challenging. I know I'm gonna have to make a lot of sacrifices in order to get there. A lot of time spent with friends, family, loved ones, my girlfriend. Even time making art will have to be sacrificed in order for me to really get the best out of uh, the school experience. Um, and so I am kind of nervous, you know, just thinking about it. However, I've looked, man. I've been doing research on like different career paths and different types of jobs and different types of skills and this and that and that. I mean, I just keep coming back to it. I just keep coming back to engineering. Um, I've always thought that I was gonna go back to school. That was always a thing in the back of my mind. Like, I'm gonna go to college. I'm gonna go back to college. I went to this like local school that had like some type of accreditation issues and shit when I first graduated high school. Um, but that was at a time where I was just, trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life. So I just wanted to, I dropped out of that program and I just was living life, like just seeing what's out there. I've had so many different jobs in so many different fields. I've worked, your regular retail, your regular restaurant job, you know, fast food. And then I went into doing trade work. I spent a little bit of time, I would say about a year, a little under a year maybe, as an electrical apprentice. I got hired. I was actually working a job, got hired on the spot from a guy I met at the job I was working at the time, and he was willing to give me an opportunity. So, and then I'm so glad for that experience because that gave me a realistic idea of what working in the trades would be like, which is something that I've been thinking about recently as well. And then I went and traveled, moved around. COVID happened, moved around to different states, lived in different communities, and, just been surrounding myself with different people as well. And then I went to work into the hospital as a CNA, which was a very, very, I love that experience, honestly. That was probably some of the best moments of my adult life. I was able to achieve financial stability, get my own apartment, get a new car, really take care of myself. Um, despite later on having troubles with that, losing a job and things like that. I'm here now, and I'm like, you know what? I think that I'm going to really push myself to be as great as I can be. You know what I mean? I'm smart. I am I'm an intelligent person. I believe I have what it takes to be a great student and a great engineer. I'm not looking to be, top 5 engineers in the world and things like that, but I do believe that I have the makings to be a great engineer within my career field, make a good income, a good living for myself, establish a good foundation for myself now that I'm 26 and have gotten all that other life experience. I'm able to really settle down and be like, okay, this is what I want to focus on. I've kind of done everything else I feel like there is to do as a young adult, just getting out and experiencing life. And so I really have no other boxes to check off other than that. And that's why I feel so confident in this, the next steps that I'm going to take. I feel really inspired by myself finally after there was a long time, it was a long drought of just being like just questioning everything, not being too sure, doubting and all types of stuff, revolving around that. But as of recently, I've come to a point of self-acceptance, accepting my life, um, and just wanting to just have more for myself and to just go for more, bro. You know what I'm saying? We only have 24 hours in a day. Nobody knows when they're gonna die, really. It can happen any moment, and it's something that my intuition is telling me to go for. And I've had issues in the past with going against my intuition, and it's definitely bit me in the ass. So I'm learning from that experience. I don't think I'm gonna go against my intuition anymore. I'm just gonna go for it. Um, I see it for myself. I see it. I see myself being both a great artist and engineer. Just a greater person overall, bro. Just a greater human overall. Like a greater man overall. You know what I'm saying? And in times, especially times like now, where I feel like there's a lot of ways to get discouraged and distracted and just to get put off your, your purpose and your life path. There's so many ways. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. This is not the first video I've made in a while, but the first video that I think I'm gonna post in a while on my, social media or YouTube page and stuff. And just kind of keep track of my progress, I guess, through a vlog. I want to share this experience, and hopefully inspire others to just go for what they want in life, and to not get stuck in that mental fucking cage, on the losing end of that mental boxing match, bro. Stuck in defense. You know what I'm saying? I want to be more offensive. This round, I want to be more offensive. I want to be more on the offense. I don't want to be on the ropes. I want to make. I want to put some numbers on the scoreboard, bro. Like, yeah. So I'm also excited to share with you guys that I have an art exhibition coming up. I'm gonna be a part of, amongst other great artists, local artists in North Carolina, Charlotte, and the neighboring towns and shit. And this is something that I set out to have, to achieve. I think like in December of last year, I wanted to be in an exhibition, and here I am. So I'm excited to show the work that I've been working on. Not allowing myself to get in my head about what it is that I have to bring to the table. I love what I created. I love what I spent time. Cause man, I've been working my ass off. Still a little behind on stuff, but I've been working my ass off, and the little time that I have been able to put into my artwork, I've been putting it in there, bro. And I'm ready for, people to see it, So July 17th, I think we're going to record that. I'm going to vlog that event, and I'll probably post it up on here too, so that you guys can see what I've been working on, what I've been doing. And yeah, I feel a lot more positive today. Over the weekend, I wasn't feeling all that good, but yesterday and today, I've been feeling real good, real positive, and that's a fucking win for me. You know what I'm saying? That's a win for me. So I want to continue to I want to stack some more dubs every day. I want to continue to feel good about myself. Continue to do things that keep my self-esteem high. Setting goals, knocking them shits out, and keeping my self-esteem high, feeling good about myself. That's been something that I've been really challenged with as of recently, but I'm doing good today. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. Hopefully that would, inspire you to do whatever you're doing to keep your life going, and to go after the things that you've been thinking about, that's been in the back of your mind, that you kind of just I don't know. You have to really create it in your mind and just fucking go with that shit. Just go with it. Just go with it. Just go with it. Just go with it. Okay, so what? You don't think that you can do this and this at the same time? Be something new, nigga. It's time to be something new. Bring something new to the table. It's a new day and age. Do something that people haven't seen before. I think I'm going to do that. I might have to do a little bit of research. I don't know if there are people out there who exist as engineers and artists at the same time. I don't know. I got to do some research and see and study that archetype and see how I can be and master that, I still have aspirations of traveling the world and seeing, just getting it all, I don't know if I don't know. I don't know about tomorrow. I just want to I want to get as much from this experience of life as I can. You know what I mean? So, hope y'all have a good rest of your day. I hope that this really, makes you want to do what you want to do in life. I really do. I really do. But I appreciate your time. I'll see you later.